before we start, should probably do like a clap sync to make sure everything matches up when I do this in post. Let's see.
Um, I've tried that before. We'll clap, but
It typically doesn't work out.
Discord's so weird. Yeah, I've
Fair enough.
tried to sync. I had a call with like three people, and it was like, nah, not even happening. But yeah, we'll clap anyways. Yeah, see
All
how
right.
out of sync it is. It'd be funny.
All right. Three, two, one. I don't know if that even came through, but hopefully.
Did you hear my clap? I didn't hear yours.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't hear yours either. Well, off to a great
Oh,
start. All right, I'm gonna try and do an intro here. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I am, well, not the one and only Nate, but certainly a Nate, and here I'm with a very special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
good morning, everybody. My name is Morthay Doog, host of the horror channel MYTHONICS, who mostly covers fear and hunger lore. If you're into that, you've probably seen my videos before. But if you're not, then come check it out because it's pretty weird.
Great, great. A little preamble before this is going to be an interview, but before we get into that, I'll give a little bit of background on why I decided to do this video. I've been trying to branch out, do different kinds of content, mess around with different videos, so stuff like that. Already I'm tripping over my own words. This is going great. Point is, Mythonics here is a person who I really respect in terms of content. I've been watching you for, I want to say a year. My memory is pretty foggy, but I think the way I found your channel was a friend of mine ran a role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game session based on Vermis. And while I was researching that, I found your video,
Ah,
and from there I just fell in love with your work. I love lore, fictional stuff, settings, all that kind of shit. And your channel is my go-to for that. You cover a lot of stuff I'm interested in, and can't get enough of it. So, yeah, I figured why not have you on the show, pick your brain a little bit, and yeah, we'll see how this goes.
mm. You must be excited for Vermis 3 then.
Oh, I just saw that was coming out a couple of days ago. I'm rubbing my hands together in anticipation. I already saw some of the preview images. It looks so cool.
Looks so good.
Have you read
Nothing. So,
Oh, sorry, God.
after 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 Vermis came out, so many things have really tried to capture that vibe, and nothing's been quite the same. Not even Godhusk, which I assume you're about to mention.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was gonna ask.
Godhusk is different, intentionally different, I think, but it's still not quite the same. And yeah, I've always been meaning to do a Godhusk video. I have very intensive notes about it um, that I've been sitting on for over a year now, but I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I thought of doing a video on it at one
One
point.
day,
Yeah, I thought of doing a video on it at one point, but then I was like, yeah, Mythonics will probably just do one, so I'll just wait for him to cover it.
no, 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 don't wait, never wait. If you want to do a video on something, just do it. If
Oh
you
man,
think so, my mindset is if I have something interesting to say that I'm pretty sure nobody else has said, then I do a video on something.
yeah, my
Uh,
backlog for videos just gets longer and longer every day. I don't know. I've had so many that I've scrapped or whatever. I'm pretty fickle, unfortunately, with my with what I choose to do and not. I've had ones where I'm like halfway recorded and I'm like, this just isn't working out. I don't know. But enough
hmm.
about me.
It can be tough.
Into the questions. Let's dive right in.
Yeah.
So first of all, getting the most obvious one out of the way. What inspired you to do YouTube?
It's kind of around. I get into it in a bit of a roundabout way. I'll go. I'll drop the whole more they do lore.
Oh, here we
Um,
go.
I was working with a group of people on making a game, and we would have work meetings over Discord because we're all from all over the world, mostly America, but obviously I'm from Australia. And after we'd finish our work for the day, I'd just stream random games in there, um, and I really enjoyed it. And one of the other people in there was she was a streamer, and she had an anime avatar, a live 2D model, and I was like, "That's awesome! Can you make me one of them?" And I want to start. I want to try streaming. She's like, "Yeah, yeah, sure, sure." And I commissioned one from her, and I didn't use it. So I didn't bother until Hololive came out, and I was like, I got into watching them, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Wait a second, I have my own model. Let's give it a go, and that's what I got started with. Um, and then a couple of years after that, I took a big break. Um, and when I was coming back, I was like, I want to keep streaming, but I'm like, I don't want to. I had this handsome dog boy avatar. I'll send you a picture of it at
I
some point if I
saw
can
it. I
find
was
it.
looking at your early
Um,
videos. I hadn't seen your very first one, so I looked back and I was like, oh, I didn't know this was a thing.
yeah, here you go. You can put this on screen when we're talking about this if you like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I was like, it's a fine model, right? She did a good job, but it's not the vibe I want, right? I don't want some handsome anime dog boy. I want to be creepy. So then I had designed this one, and I got someone to do the art for this new one now, and it worked out pretty well. People seem to like it. So, but anyway, so then what I then so if you want to get big streaming, you have to get big on YouTube first. You just have to. People have to find you. Well, they have to find you a different way other than on Twitch because Twitch has no discoverability, right? There's no algo to promote people on Twitch. It just doesn't exist. So you need to put clips on like TikTok, YouTube, put highlights, like put full videos on YouTube, that sort of stuff. So that's what I started doing. And I was doing like every time I'd stream, I'd do something dumb, like I'd make memes or I'd do movie castings of Fear and Hunger, just random, just dumb stuff like that, and
Yeah, I
put like a
recall
10-minute
seeing
highlight on YouTube.
I recall seeing your stream highlights, specifically the one where you looked at the Fear and Hunger wiki when that got vandalized, for lack of a better term. That
That
video is
was
hilarious.
so good.
I recommend people go check that out.
That
That shit
was
is pretty funny.
I don't put stream highlights on my main channel anymore, but if something like that happened again, I would. That was so funny. But anyway, um, and then I was like, this is fun, and I think I prefer doing YouTube more because I had a big break from streaming because I didn't have very good internet for that time, and I started doing YouTube videos, and then they're on my channel as well. Just they didn't go so well. Like looking at fairy tales and looking at that stuff, they probably would have gone better if I'd stuck with it, but I stopped. And I was like, well, I kind of really like that. And then when Fear and Hunger started getting big, I was like, I really like watching lore videos, and I like watching analog horror videos. So I love all the Dark Souls lore. I love people like Nick Nightmine that do analog horror and Nexpo and Vati Vidya and Smotown for the lore and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, has anybody done any lore videos for it yet? And I looked up and nobody had done it. And this is after it had blown up. So after Worm Girls, it was something like what happens in Fear and Hunger or something like that. And that blew up. That had like, a couple million views. And all the big names are starting to really notice it. Like I think some big people had started to stream it. Like I think Connor had streamed it at that point. And I was like, there's no lore videos about this. And I'm like, I know enough about it that I could start doing lore videos. And I did, and they were insanely popular. Like, well, 100 times more popular than anything else I'd done at that point. I think my first one was like the Dark Lore of Fear and Hunger, and yeah, that just did so insanely well. And I'm like, okay, well, I know what I'm doing, and I made that my main focus, and yeah, it has been ever since. So I sort of
Nice.
changed my internal mindset from being a streamer who does YouTube to a YouTuber who sometimes streams.
That's interesting.
And yeah,
So you kind of
it
broke new
was.
ground with that kind of stuff. That with covering Fear and Hunger and all that.
I believe there may have been some other lore videos beforehand, but I couldn't find them. So I feel like I was the first one to do serious lore videos about Fear and Hunger.
Yeah.
There may have been one from when the first game came out and it just wasn't very popular because the first game was not very popular at all on YouTube and whatnot. It was only until Terminator came out that the second one came out that people actually started really paying attention. And the reason for that is Worm Girl's video because there was that massive video. Like what happened? Because Terminator comes out, people are hearing about it, but they're not really paying that much attention. And then this massive video comes out that says what happens in it. It's like, oh, okay, I checked that out. Oh wait, it's actually really cool. And then that video blows up. Everybody else starts seeing it, and then the whole thing just exploded. It was, yeah, it was crazy.
Nice. Yeah, I think I found out about Fear and Hunger through your videos. I think it was the Sulfur Cult video you did, and I was like, "This is insane."
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Oh, wait, no, sorry, hang on. I made a mistake. It wasn't just Worm Girl. I think there was one video that was technically beforehand that really helped. And I don't remember who did it. But it was another one that was very similar style video
I
to Worm
forget.
Girls.
I forget. I
But
know
it was Worm Girl and this other person.
Super Eye Patch Wolf covered it at some point. I forget when that was. I don't know if that
Yeah,
was.
that was after.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I believe the streamers picked it up first. So like Connor or Sea Dog picked it up first, and then Super Eye Patch Wolf saw it. And yes, both of those did help tremendously. And then you've obviously got people like I think even Charlie like played it, and other big names. It became a bit of a meme to play it at the time, which
Yeah,
obviously tremendously helped
I mean,
popularity of it.
I'm glad it blew up. It's awesome, and I'm glad I found it. It's an incredible game. It goes without saying, but I think your videos. I'm not trying to, overblow it, but I really do think you've done the best job at covering it because I've tried to watch other lore videos on it, and I'm not trying to diss them or anything. They're all good. But the stuff you notice, like the stuff you pick out, is always things where I'm like, I would have never thought of that in a million years. It's crazy. Like the Sulfur Cult video or Sulfur God video. I remember seeing that and just the stuff you were pointing out. I'm like, this is like obvious after hearing it, but it's just so many layers. It's one of those games that's designed to be dug into like that. It's perfect for it.
Yeah, so well, one of the funny things is some of the ideas I have literally come to me in dreams, which is pretty crazy. I literally dreamt about some of the stuff in the Sulfur God videos, but I think it helps that it's literally my job to sit there and think about fear and hunger all day. Like some people have said, like, "Oh, hey, it's cool you come up with this stuff," and it's like, well, yeah, but I think more people probably could if that's all they had to do is in their job is spend 2 weeks thinking of a cool theory for fear and hunger.
Fair enough.
But I think it does come down to just spending a lot of time in there. Like when I'm working on something fear and hunger related, I'm usually, and even when I'm not, I'm usually poking around in the fear and hunger lore. There's in the Discord there's a lore channel, and I'm half the time in there just seeing what people are saying, and like I don't that does help with a general understanding, and I don't just like all my craziest theories they hate it there, and I try and make good arguments that can convince the people who are really hard to convince. And there's some people that are like, you have to get the argument right, and you have to be able to argue every single point from start to finish, or they'll disregard it, which is completely fair, by the way.
Mm.
And I like putting that, it's sort of like a crucible for theories, right? And if it can't stand up to this, these guys that know 100% of the law, and there's a few guys in there that are like that know way more than me. Like I might be, one of the YouTubers that knows the most, but man, there's some people in the community that are encyclopedic. They're better than the wiki. And
Yeah.
if it can't stand up to what those guys know, then I try and refine it and come up with evidence and come up with arguments for it. And I think that's why I do really try to tackle theories from all angles. And the nature of fear and hunger means that there's always going to be some spots that you can't cover, because there is big chunks that are intentionally missing. And I think that's where you can get room for alternate interpretations of the law. So some of my theories are at odds with each other. Like my sun god videos talk about how a certain god, Grogoroth, is the sun god. And then my
Yeah,
latest one says that a different god is the sun god. And it's like, well, they're not quite, you can't really, put them together like that. And when I was going into it, I was like, well, I sort of have to, I either did, or I was thinking about saying in the introduction, like you have to take this theory by itself. You can't take it with my other theories. And I kind of like doing that. I kind of like being able to hold different theories in my head at different times to explore them, pull some threads, see what happens, and sometimes it fits better,
I mean, I'm sure if you laid it out on paper with all of the knowledge that the creator has, it would make sense. But it's
yeah. He the creator Miro, really interesting guy.
yeah,
He
legend.
said that one time. He said that he's going to write it all out all the lore out in a book. And so if he accidentally, like, he passes away, unfortunately, in an accident or something like that, then that'll be released upon his death. And you know how hard it is not to tweet at him saying, "I'm coming for you"? I need that lore. But I'm like,
Oh,
I'm also like, I kind of don't want to threaten to kill somebody on Twitter, so I probably shouldn't do that.
yeah,
But Miro,
probably a
if you're
good
listening,
call.
I'm coming. Get ready. I'm getting that lore, one way or another.
Miro, if you're listening, yeah, drop that. Come on, you don't have to wait that long. I don't want to be an old man when I finally understand all of fear and hunger. Come on now. All right, moving on to another question. This was the second one I had. Horror does seem to be your passion. You already mentioned analog horror, stuff like that, but what draws you to that in particular?
It's a good question. I don't know. It's it's very. I like seeing the darker things in life. I've been thinking about evil avatars and whatnot lately, and um, I think there's a certain power in it, in the darker things. It's a rejection of uh I don't want to say normies, but kind of those sort of people. It's like it's explicitly drawing a line in the sand and saying I'm different, and that can be good and bad. There's a lot of people who are a bit edgy with it, but I think it's good to be able to explore those sort of things, the darker elements, because they exist, and you have to come to terms with them one way or another, whether it's a complete rejection or accepting it. And like, I'm Christian, and I'm pretending to be a demon online, and it's like, well, how does that make sense? And it's like, well, I think it's sort of a metaphor that anybody, no matter how evil, can be saved. Obviously, canonically, demons can't be saved, but I'm obviously not a real demon, so it's just a story, right?
You're speaking my language, man.
And yeah, so I think it's a safe way to explore these sort of ideas, um, and come to terms with the darker parts of reality.
Yeah, no, same here. That I completely agree. I mean, I'm probably more on the agnostic side, but I believe in a higher power to an extent. I definitely think, though, whatever you believe, it is important to be able to confront that stuff. And I agree. I read a lot of books, watch a lot of movies that cover those darker topics. It's important to be able to confront it because, yeah, like you said, it exists in the world and it can be disturbing, but you got to accept that to a degree, in a healthier way, obviously, and not I'm not going down the list of most horrible films ever made and trying to just numb myself to the world. But I see what you mean, and I agree with it.
mm.
All right, that was a good one. Moving on to another one. All right, you already answered the next question I had. What was the Avatar origin? Let's see. What's your favorite video you've done, and why?
My own favorite video. Hmm. Hmm. I think I've got a couple. The video I had the most fun making would have been my making an analog horror in 7 days,
Ooh, that's
which
a good
nobody
one.
liked. Nobody likes this video.
I
It's
liked
one of
it.
my worst performing videos. I had so much fun making it, but the problem is it's not what my audience wants to see. That's the issue, and that's fine. You don't. You know what they say. You don't have an audience. An audience has you, and the audience doesn't want to see that. So,
Yeah, I break that
um,
rule all the time. I don't have any kind of consistent topic I cover.
I saw that. I was watching your Robot Carnival video, which is actually very good, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody listening, go watch the Robot Carnival. What is it called? An animated anthology masterpiece, Robot Carnival review. Go watch that. It's very good.
Yeah, sorry about the
Um,
blank space at the
yes, I
beginning
was
from
looking at
an
your channel.
editing mishap. Whoops.
It happens. Look. Most of the time, if a video is longer than like 20 minutes, people are watching it while they're doing other things anyway, so they don't notice. Don't sweat it. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. They do, but I'm joking. Um, yes, I was going to say, yes, it's good to niche down. I like thinking about the business side of YouTube, and it's very good to niche down. And um, like if you're not still not getting success and you've niche down again. And if you're still not getting success, niche down again. And if you're still not getting success, then pick another niche, right? Um, so I don't know how popular retro anime is on YouTube. Um, but it could be like, okay, well, I'm just going to talk about mecha retro anime. And if it's still not working after a few months, then it's like, okay, well, time to pick another niche, right?
I think
That's
you've
pretty
just read
niche
my
there.
mind through the computer. That's exactly what I was planning on doing.
Yeah, it's very good to do that. There's also see, I always mention this. I always bring this up when people are worried about starting out because this is how I did it. This is exactly how I did it. Was there's a guy called Devin Nash on YouTube and he's head of a actually ex-head of a marketing agency. He just left like a couple months ago, and what's it called again? What's his video called? I was How to Grow a Brand. It's called Devin Nash, How to Grow a Brand. And basically, the in a nutshell, it is, niche right down and then find the communities where they talk and then add value to those communities. So say you're going to be covering retro anime, right? Find where people talk about retro anime and then add value to that community. So if say for example they're on Twitter, right? I don't actually know where they are, but but say they're on Twitter. Every every week do like one long post, one long thread with images and whatnot about it. All right. And then every day go and just join conversations about it. So, someone's talking about what counts as in retro anime anymore. Sailor Moon. That's retro now, I guess. um, someone's talking about Sailor Moon, go in there and just talk. Just talk to them about Sailor Moon, you know. And then just do that every day. Just spend half hour every day just doing that. And don't say, "Oh, by the way, I have a YouTube about this." Don't say that at all. People will naturally come to you if you're adding value. People will naturally like your stuff and naturally want to find out more. Because if you start saying, "Oh yeah, come and watch my YouTube for more information," people like they know you're trying to sell them on something,
Yeah, they can
and
see
it's like,
what you're
"Well, I'm
doing.
not going to do that." Exactly. But if you just add value and you be a member of the community, then people will naturally want more. And it sounds a bit slimy when you break it down like that, but you're in this niche because you enjoy it anyway, most likely,
Oh yeah.
right? Like you wouldn't do, how many videos, like 10 videos about retro anime if you didn't enjoy retro anime, right? So it's not like you are being slimy, it's that you're just more effectively engaging with the community and engaging with YouTube. And that's how I got into Fear and Hunger. Was like I saw this video. I'm like, okay, well, I'll do this. I'll join. I'll start talking about it more on Twitter, and I'll join the Discord and talk there. And I did that, and I was like, oh, I actually love this. Like I wasn't doing it before because I'm not naturally a very social person at all, really.
Yeah, same here.
And I was like, wait, I actually really enjoy engaging with these people who know a lot about the law, who know more about the law than me a lot of the time. Um, like this is cool. Like why didn't I do this before? And it ended up being also really good for my videos too. Um, so it's not just extractive. You're actually adding back in there. So it's a cyclical relationship happening there. You know?
I see what you mean. I mean, I got inspired by a ton of people. What was I about to say there? I just had a mini stroke. I was about to say something else. My bad. Uh, Again, haven't done this before for the folks at home, in case you can't tell. Either way, no, I totally see what you mean. I mean, part of me trying to branch out more was doing stuff like reaching out to you. Like, I reached out to a few people, and you were the only one who got back to me. But I am trying to branch out and just talk to people more, and form those kind of
Mm,
connections. It's because like you said, same here. I'm not a very social person. that's probably one of the reasons I haven't delved into doing that kind of stuff more. But it's definitely on the agenda. Doing YouTube was one thing I did to be able to kind of start not interact with people more, but just like put my stuff out there and not be as afraid of get some feedback. Yeah, I do this mainly for fun. If it works out, I'll
Yeah.
do it for a living. But I have other stuff I do for money and financial stuff like that. But no, that's good advice. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely take that all into account.
Yeah, who would have thought that most YouTubers are shut-ins who don't like interacting with people?
Yeah. Hey man, that anime's not going to review itself.
Someone's going to do it. Back to the anime minds, huh?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Outside of horror, what other media are you fond of? And as a follow-up, you already kind of answered this, mentioning that your analog one didn't do too well and you try and cater more to your audience, which is, totally fair. But would you ever think of branching out into other topics in the future, even still?
Yeah, yeah. So I enjoy watching anime as well, actually, and I've actually watched a couple of classic ones lately. What did I watch just recently? Was Shamanic Princess I watched recently. That was very good. 6 episode OVA series.
I haven't heard of that. I
Really
have to
good.
write it down.
From like it's like I think it was early 90s, I believe, but very good. But yes, I do watch a decent amount of anime. A real mix of stuff. Sometimes action shonen-y type stuff. None of the long running series. I don't like anything that's got like that many episodes. I
Yeah,
prefer
same.
like 12, 24 episodes.
Monster was a really great show, but I ducked out at episode like 20 something because I was like, man, this is good, but there's also like 30 episodes left. I got other shit to watch too.
Sometimes the long running ones can be pretty good, and I do look. My guilty pleasure is magical girl shows. So I love me some magical girls. I got into it through Madoka, and then I watched. So I've watched all like the magical girl deconstruction genre, the subgenre. So Madoka, um, Yusha, what is it? Yusha Yuna?
I don't know.
Yusha Yuna is a
Madoka is the
hero or
only one
something
I've
like
seen out of the ones you're mentioning.
that. And Magical Girl Site. Don't worry about the rest. They're kind of shit. Sorry, really have to swear on the show. It's kind of shit. um, Madoka's good, and all the rest are inspired by Madoka anyway. So just watch Madoka again. I tried watching the extra series they added to Madoka, and I couldn't get past like episode 4 or 5. I want to try again because the Madoka movie's coming out soon, so I'll probably try again.
One moment, my dog
But then
is
I
squeaking. I think she needs to go out. Sorry, 1 second. All right, back. Sorry about that. My dog needed to go out.
Yeah, no worries. What kind of dog do you have?
She's a blue healer. And
Blue healer.
yeah, or at least I'm
Why do you have a
pretty
blue
sure.
healer?
Hold on, let me make sure I'm getting that name right. I know nothing about dogs. This is just what I've heard. Australian cattle dog. She's like a mix of this and something else. I know nothing about dog breed.
Hmm.
It's so weird. She literally just appeared at my house one day. Like literally just showed up. I remember it so distinctly. There's like I live in a pretty remote area, and there's like a tire pile out back. Don't ask me how it got here. It was here when I moved in. But either way, I was just walking around. I remember climbing up on the tiles to survey like the scenery, and then I jumped down, and there's just this dog next to me that just looks up, and it's just sitting there. And I was like,
Hmm.
"What on earth?" And to this day, I have no. I think eventually, me and my family met the guy who claimed to have owned her at one point, and
Hmm.
story was inconsistent. I guess she like got out somehow and just ran down here, and he didn't want her back, so we just kept her. It was weird. I mean, I like to
Blue
joke
healer.
she was dropped off by aliens, but
Well, I'm assuming you're in the US.
yeah.
That's in a remote area. The blue healers are one of the best cattle dogs in the world. They have so much energy. because they're really good for working.
Oh yeah,
Um,
this one, she will run laps around the house.
yeah, they literally will because they just have so much energy because they're bred to just run all day. And
Yeah,
yeah, like even in the US, they imported them to help herding because they are one of the best in the world at it.
yeah, she'll try and herd me when I go on a walk occasionally. I'll be like, hey,
Yeah, it's instinctual. It's crazy.
yeah, it's adorable. She also barks at shadows incessantly. That was one thing I was a little worried about. I looked at her before the interview started. She's partly deaf too. There's so many weird things about this dog, but I just gave her that look. I was like,
Ah,
now no barking today. No barking today, Darla. I've got an interview coming up. Thankfully, she's been pretty well behaved on that front. All right. Anyway, back to the questions. Uh, oh yeah, sorry. You were still
what was the question? What were we doing?
we were still talking about anime and stuff.
Ah, yes, Magical Girls. Yes, and then I got onto actual Magical Girl shows. What was the last one I watched? Oh God, what was it? I forgot now. Um, I watched a bit of Precure, like the actual, the one designed for like teenage girls, which is funny. No, it was Tokyo Mew Mew. I watched, yeah, Tokyo Mew Mew. Tokyo Mew Mew New, the remake.
I've never really watched. The
Um,
only magical girl show I've seen is Madoka. What's this wasn't one of the questions I had lined up, but fuck it. What's one you would recommend for someone trying to get into it?
uh, just Madoka. The rest of them are like, they, you know, they're really well done compared to what you might expect, but ultimately they're still pretty. It's still like this is a cartoon for kids,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I know what you mean.
you know
Grittier
they are
stuff.
better than you expect and a lot deeper than you expect. But ultimately, it's like you're only going to enjoy this if you really like magical girls, and I do. And it's like, would I recommend this to other people? Not really, unless you really enjoy it, and in which case you probably have already watched it. So,
Yeah, that's fair. I'm more into the gritty stuff. I got started with Akira and went from there. But I mean, I like stuff like Bubblegum Crisis, so anime girl shows I can still enjoy too. But Madoka,
well,
yeah,
you
it
might
sounds like Madoka
enjoy
is kind of where it
Shamanic
is.
Princess because that's that classical 80s, 90s visual style. The visual style is awesome in it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
And
now.
there
It
are
looks
some cool
sick.
fight scenes. And it does get a bit weird and metaphorical, but that's cool too. So,
You had me at weird. Now I'm definitely gonna watch it.
and it's only like 6 episodes, I think they're like 20 minutes each. So,
There you go. All right. Next question I got lined up here. I know you already did a video on it, but I still wanted to get some more thoughts on it from you. How's Fear and Hunger 3 shaping up based on what we know? What are we thinking?
I'm thinking it'll be really fun to play in about 2035, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
So,
I, I I have a theory that I'd like to pose to you about it. I don't know. See, I know in your
mm.
video, Miro said that people might be thinking too deep on the vampires thing. But assuming there are actual vampires in the game that you play as, I wonder if that would tie into the hunger mechanic.
Oh, yeah. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that could be a cool
Like,
twist on it.
if not like literal blood drinking, but like some sort of stealing vitality, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Miro, if you're watching
Hmm.
this, feel free to steal that idea. It would be pretty cool. Uh,
Well, so Mira said that it was a teenage vampire love story, right? That's what Fear and Hunger 3 is going to be about.
yeah, and like a
Um,
cyberpunk city,
he
maybe going off the Midgard Final Fantasy VII stuff they teased as well.
well, so that's what he said, right? But when he was describing Terminator before it came out, he said it was about a girl with daddy issues. And it's like, yeah, technically Terminator is about that, but it's also about a million other things. And I think that's what he's sort of hinting at is that it is going to be an aspect of it. There is, you know, vampires are going to be there in some form, literal or metaphorical, but it's not the focus. So I think I did maybe talk about vampires a bit too much in hindsight in my video.
Hey,
But
I
then it's
mean,
like,
vampires
well,
are cool.
how do you actually figure out what it's going to be about? Like, based on the stuff we knew about Terminator beforehand, how the hell would you figure that out? And that's a bit of a
Yeah,
problem, you know?
it's I'm going in with yeah, what I'm seeing in my head is probably going to be wildly different from how it turns out. But hey, I mean, I mean, I don't love
Mm.
Twilight, but I love the Warriors and I love Final Fantasy VII. So anything with that as the starting point, made by Miro, is probably going to be pretty good. Also, I have to thank you.
Oh yeah.
I had heard about the Warriors for years before, but I had never watched it until I saw your video. That movie is so fucking good.
How
One of my
good is it?
favorites.
It's so good.
It's awesome. I
Um,
mean, people make arguments. It's like the characters are shallow, or whatever, but it works for what it is. And I still would make the argument that they're
yeah.
more interesting if you. I mean, I wouldn't say anyone's like deep in that movie, but I don't think every movie has to have like
Mm-mm.
super deep characters in order to be good. They just have to be entertaining and interesting to an extent, which they are.
No, exactly. Exactly. Each story's a bit different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it was, although they did butcher the director's cut for no reason whatsoever, which was weird.
Oh my god, yeah. I
Um,
felt so bad because me and my family will do movie nights sometimes, and my mom got me The Warriors for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I open it up and I see director's cut, and I was like, "Oh, Mom, I'm really sorry. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but I do have to break something to you. This is not the version we've been watching."
mm, yeah, it
Yeah.
happens.
Hey, at
It
least you got
happens.
the original. Amazing movie. Anyway, yeah, but Fear and Hunger 3. I see what you mean. I think whatever we're going to get is. I mean, if he's saying it's going to be wildly different, it's going to be wildly different. I believe. Wasn't he debating not even calling it Fear and Hunger 3? He said something like that.
Yeah, yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's.
Well, Fear and Hunger 2 isn't even called Fear and Hunger 2. It's just called Fear and Hunger Termina. So,
Yeah, fair enough. But I don't know. It's just
isn't it?
still.
Or am I making that up?
I let
Hold
me
on.
double check. I'm so used to people calling it Fear and Hunger 2
Oh, it
Termina that.
is. My mistake. I'm wrong. Huh. Fuck
Oh,
me.
there you
Take away
go.
my Fear and Hunger fan card then.
Hey man, it's no worries. The amount of
Got
mistakes
the name wrong. Got the name of
the
the bloody
amount of
game wrong.
mistakes I've made in my short YouTube career is enough to fill a dump truck. You know.
Yeah. Oh, it's so easy. It's you'll forget one thing like that and you'll look back and you'll be like, fuck,
I know. I
that's
had
such a basic mistake. How did I do that?
I know. I feel I'm like a perfectionist, which is not a good thing. But I'll look back at like a video where everyone says like, "Oh, this is your best work yet," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I pronounced this Japanese guy's name wrong. It's ruined."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like one minor thing like that, and it's like just take away, just delete my account. It's over.
Yeah, I basically look back at every video I've made and I'm like, wow. Well, better try and make the next one better. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
look,
just try and learn to roll with the punches.
yeah, being being a little bit of a perfectionist is good in making YouTube videos, but you do have to definitely be careful with it. At some point, you have to say the video's done. I can't improve anymore because you can never, like anything else, you can never make a perfect YouTube video, right? But you just have to say, unless your name is like Nexpo or Super Eye Patch Wolf, there's a point where you have to say, okay, I'm done with this video, and I can't spend another month on it.
Yeah, I I definitely need to work on that. Sometimes I've had videos delayed over extremely minor things that really no one else would have noticed. But I'm like, well, I noticed them, and if I notice it, surely someone else is gonna notice it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, somebody else will, but it's going to be like one person out of 1,000, and they're not going to
Yeah,
care anyway.
yeah, it is what it is. That's what I've been trying to tell
Yeah,
myself lately. I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's fine. In the grand scheme of things, what does it matter if you made a mistake in a YouTube video? It's whatever.
exactly. And like in my latest video that's about to come out next week, it's
Ooh,
about
I'm
Ocarina of
excited.
Time ROM hacks, which is actually something that I wanted to do a bit more of actually, and I was probably should have mentioned last question. There's a lot of Ocarina of Time horror ROM hacks, which I didn't expect, but there's so many, and I was like, let's dig in and see if people like it. We'll see if they like it. But in one section of my video, there's like a 10-minute section where I sort of fucked up as I was speaking, and you'd understand this. I don't want to talk about this on my own account because it's sort of like uh what's the word where it's like a psychic thing where it's you can't unnotice it then when you hear it.
Words on the
There's a
tip
word
of
for
my
that.
tongue. Damn.
Um, whatever. Anyway, you can't unnotice it, and so it's like wet mouth sounds, right? Which you probably are aware of as a YouTuber.
Oh boy, I've had a
Um,
few of those on this call alone that I was like, oh well, that just happened.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I actually get it pretty bad, so I have to speak very, very carefully when I'm recording, and do like heaps, like and I do heaps of stuff specifically to negate it, and I just have a naturally, it just naturally happens a lot
Yeah,
with
same here.
how my mouth is
That's
shaped, I guess.
I would get videos done way quicker if I wasn't re-recording stuff constantly.
Yeah, and there was like a 10-minute section in there, and I'm like, this is terrible. Like I have to re-record this. And then I'm watching a video from a channel with 2 million views. The video has been up a day, it's got like 1 million views, and the entire thing, he's got wet mouth like 100 times worse than I've got it. And I'm like, are you joking? Nobody cares about this.
Yeah, I had the
And I was
exact
so
same thing happen to
frustrated.
me recently. I was watching what's his face, Cybershell, who's like one of my big inspirations. I don't know if you know who he is. He does Sonic videos, but he did a video on Sonic
Name
Superstars, and
does
it
ring
was
a
like
bell.
right when I was struggling with that kind of thing. Like, oh, my voice sounds awful. Why am I even doing this? And I click on his video, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't. Nobody cares. Well, shit.
Mm. I think so. There's definitely a mindset where you have to be better than the people who are already at the top. If you want to be at the top, you've got to be better than them, right? And that's the mindset you've got to go in with it. But there's also a certain point where it's like, well, you can get away with letting this slide. So yeah, it's a bit of a balance, you know.
Yeah,
Like if I want to be the next Nexpo, I've got to be better than Nexpo because otherwise people will just watch him, you know.
yeah, exactly. It's a slippery slope.
Mm.
All right, I've got another question right here. Any underrated? Yeah, let me try that again. Any underrated media you think fans of your channel should check out?
No,
Oh, damn.
no.
Give me that nice Yoko Taro response, quick and to the point.
Some of them. No.
Look, if there was, I would make a video about it,
There you
and
go.
so I did. Um,
Hey, there you
I
go.
covered Me Side, which actually fans of my channel didn't like very much. I think it's a cool game. I do understand why people aren't that into it though. It's too different. Anime, right?
Oh
Anime
yeah.
game. No, I'm Not Human. When I covered it, it was well, actually it was in the process of blowing up when I covered it, so that's not really niche. Um, Labyrinth of the Demon King. People should play that game. That was my favorite indie game of 2025 was Labyrinth of the Demon King, and people just weren't interested. And I was very disappointed at that. I thought it would be bigger than it was because it was such a good game. The visuals are very strong and they're a bit it's sort of hard to get into playing it. And I think that's what the issue was because it got such a strong visual identity. It's
Yeah,
very rough
I
on the
have
eyes.
played it. It's incredible. People should definitely check it out.
But yes, excellent game. Just some amazing. One of my favorite moments of gaming at all last year was how far did you get in it?
Uh, I, I unfortunately have the issue where I pick up games and I tend not to. I tend to let them sit for a while and I go back to them. Like I bought Metal Gear Rising
Mm.
like 3 years ago, and I think I only beat it last year. But I got about halfway. I'm up to the area where you drain the sludge out of the tanks with those annoying ass mosquito guys. That eyeball guy gave me trouble for a while. I
Ah,
couldn't figure out how to get rid of him, and I think that's where I stopped for a bit. But I've been meaning to pick it back up. I've seen your video though, so I know the plot. I don't really care about spoilers when it comes to games. Usually, that doesn't affect my enjoyment too much.
okay. Well, there's this point in towards the end, and this is a spoiler. So if anybody listening wants to play it, go and play it, and then after you finish playing it, come back and finish this podcast. Um, so there's a point where towards the end you enter the final tower, and each tower is themed after a different layer of Japanese Buddhism hell. Right? And then it sort of really becomes apparent how each one applies after you finish a tower, because and you've got to actually dig in a little bit to the lore of Japanese Buddhism to understand. The game does straight up tell you in the notes, like, this is what this hell is, right? And then if you look at it, you're like, oh, okay, so this applies in this way. And the final one is like, what was it? It was like the hell of no return or something like that.
It's been a bit since I've
And
seen the video. I forget.
yeah, it's been a while since I made it, so I can't remember a lot of the terminology. But it's the hell, like it's so far down. It takes like 100,000 years to even fall there, and the final tower is based on it. And it's sorry that the punishment is so bad in this hell. It doesn't actually no writing in real life either has actually said how what happens in this hell. It's so bad you can't even say it. And when you get into this final tower, you're getting chased by this unkillable monster, and you just keep spiraling up and up and up and up, and it just keeps going for so long. I was like, I think everybody asked, "Am I supposed to be here right now?" Is this what I'm supposed to do? Is just keep running? And the answer is yes, it is. And it's about twice as long as you'd expect. Every other game would like chicken out, and after 5 loops you'd make it out. This one's like, nah, you're running around there for like 10 minutes straight, and the most intense music is pounding in your ears as it goes. It's so good, just a perfect scene. I couldn't. It was so gutsy to do that.
I think it
It's
has
doing a
the
scene
intro
like
to that
that.
game is
It,
so incredible. Sorry, I've talked over
intro
you once or
intro is
twice here.
awesome.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, it's Discord. There's like a big gap between when we're actually talking. It's bound to happen, but doing a scene like that takes a lot of guts from the developer to trust that the player will understand what's happening and want to stick through it. Because my first thought was, well, I'm doing something wrong. And most players' first thoughts, that's what they'll act on, is they just go, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I'm just going to leave and look it up. And it's like, no, that's not the point. The point is you have to stick with it. And you should understand that by now, because that's the point of the game, is sticking through the loops and the repetition. And yeah, you do have to have a lot of faith in the players. And that's why people like FromSoft's games, like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, whatnot, because they have a lot of faith in the player, trusting the developers, and you've got to really build up that trust. Anytime there's a tutorial, that's the developer not trusting the player, and sometimes learning controls and whatnot. Obviously, the player needs help with that, right? But that's the discussion about the yellow paint discussions
Oh
where
yeah, I'm a pretty big
it's too
modern
obvious. The tutorials
games.
are too obvious.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big advocate of modern games or falling into these cheap conventions kind of thing. I'm a retro head through and through.
Yeah. And people say it's because, oh well, it's an accessibility thing. So, you need to be able to highlight things for the player, and it's like, well, no, you can trust the player. You can trust the player will figure out what your intentions are, and the more you trust the player, the more they'll trust you in return. And that's why people like FromSoft so much, because they do trust a player a fair amount. And even they've gotten a lot easier over the years. Like you compare Elden Ring to something like Demon Souls. Holy crap! Demon
Going
Souls is
back even
insanely
further,
hard compared to.
compare Elden Ring to Kingsfield. You ever play that?
Yeah.
It's wild.
I haven't played it, but I've looked up a bit about it. Yeah,
I have
it's
played.
insane.
I'm one of the few people who's probably like completed the entire thing. Well, not few people. Few people in the modern day was the. No, you know what? It's building up more of a fan base. I think probably a lot of people have beaten it now, but back when I beat it, it was a lot more niche. And I remember being like,
Mm.
"Oh yeah, I played Dark Souls. This is gonna be easy peasy," and then getting killed by like the first enemy and being like, "Oh okay, I see how it is." Or original Armored Core, where they just they're like, "All right, we're just gonna drop you in, have fun." I'm like, "Wait, you're not gonna? All right, well, this is happening."
Yeah, yeah, and that's what people like Fear and Hunger too. Is it trusts you? It trusts that you're going to push through a wall of difficulty. Especially the first game. The first game is a nightmare. It's very, very hard from the start.
Still
You
kicks
know,
my
the
ass.
first enemy is the dog that either rips you apart or it's the giant floating jellyfish that just whips you to death. And if you do survive, then you've got some really hard to cure disease that makes the game way harder, or it's the guard that dismembers you. Like, in what world does a game have that as its tutorial enemies, right? But then if you push through, you realize, oh, these guys are actually pretty easy. It's not as hard as it seems. and there's that trust there.
Yeah, and then you meet the Crow Mauler, and then he kills you again, and you're like, oh wait, this is as hard as it seems. Or at least that's been my experience. I've only beaten that game once. I'm a much bigger fan of Termina. I mean, not just because I find it easier in some respects, but Crow Mauler still kicks my ass to this day.
Oh yeah, no, it's not an easy fight. Even when you know what to do, there's still like a big chance that he'll just one shot you. So
Yeah, I've never encountered it. I know there's a two-headed variant too. I gotta try and battle that one at some point.
yeah, yeah, that one's a nightmare, an
This
actual
wasn't a
nightmare.
question I
I don't think
had.
I've beaten the two-headed.
Uh, this wasn't a question I had written down, but I realized I should have asked it. Uh, Assuming it's not just Fear and Hunger, what's your favorite game?
That's a really good question. I don't have an answer for that. Um, I don't have a single game that I'm always like that's the top. Um, I have several games that like probably rotate a bit. I like obviously Bloodborne. I think is FromSoft's finest game. I don't think they've beaten that. Um, Obviously Fear and Hunger is in there. As there are a couple of games together. Fear and Hunger and Termina. They're slightly different, but they're up there. Labyrinth and the Demon King. Yeah, like I said, that one's awesome. Jeez, what else? There's games I put a lot of time into that I don't actually think back too fondly on. Like I'm playing WoW again at the moment, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
This is one more little thing to end this off. I have two more things I wanted to ask you. First of all, if you can answer this, what do you prefer, Termina or the original Fear and Hunger?
First game.
Totally fair.
Termina's good. Termina is mechanically it's a bit easier, but the first game is just a lot tighter. It is buggier. There's no doubt about that. It is buggier, but it's really everything it wanted to do. It really nailed it. It really was very. It was smaller, more focused. More focused is the word I'm going for, and being shorter helped with that. Termina is bigger and more sprawling, and because of that, there's more room for. Hmm, it's definitely a less focused. So instead of exploring this tight, terrifying corridors of this dungeon, it's a big sprawling city, and the horror doesn't. The horror is supposed to be the opposite of being in the dungeon when you don't know what's around any corner. Instead, you're in this big open air city where horror can come from any angle, and that's what it tries to go for, and it doesn't quite. It is there, but it doesn't quite land as well as what's happening in the dungeon. If you notice, everything in Termina is reversed from the dungeon. You don't go downwards, you don't go upwards. It's not small and enclosed. It's wide and open. It's not the horror of the darkness. It's the horror of the light. It's really clever. Um, but as a result, the horror isn't quite as focused. It's still a very good game.
Yeah,
I still quite
that's
enjoy it,
interesting.
but Fear and Hunger was a precise missile strike on exactly what it wanted, and Termina was like a big cluster bomb. You know?
Yeah, I think I do prefer Termina a little bit because I felt like I was able to get into a more of a groove with it. I mean, partly because it is
Yes,
easier.
the
I
level is
would
a lot
never deny that.
so in Termina. So in the first game, in particular in the combat, especially at the start, it's a puzzle. It's not combat. It's not turn-based combat. It's a turn-based puzzle. And in Termina, it is combat. You can just mash your way through. That is going to be changing in the update though, so I imagine it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah, that's why
So,
I'm
but we'll
really
see how it goes.
excited for that because I do prefer Termina. I mean, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I love the first game as well. I think it's great. And I also love difficult games as well. But I am excited to play a harder version of Termina that has more of those elements you mentioned in there. Like just all the stuff he's been saying he's
Mm,
gonna add into the update, Miro. I can already tell it's going to add a lot of
mm.
depth, like just the weapon types.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I just saw the new video he put out where he showed the small tweaks to existing enemies. That shit is awesome. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, that's going to add quite a lot of depth, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, again, I've been waiting almost 2 years for this thing. I think when it comes out, I'm probably literally going to fucking dance so hard my floor's gonna break, like that. So that music
Well,
video, Counting Stars. Gonna.
the last even minor patch was almost 3 years ago now. The last major patch was just January 24th, 2023. So it'll be 3 years since the last patches. So
God, I'm getting old. That's how I track. That's how I track how old I'm getting. I'm like, how long has it been since the Fear and Hunger update was announced? All right. For a while, it was Silk Song. I was like, shit, that got announced when I was back in high school. I remember it like it was yesterday, and now it's out. It's wild. You ever play Hollow
Jeez,
Knight?
you weren't even born when Half-Life 3 was announced then.
I don't think so. Half-Life, I only played Half-Life 2 this year. I've been late to the game on so much stuff. I play a lot more, I wouldn't say I'm like a popularity contrarian, but I've tried to avoid more popular games and like seek out more niche, obscure stuff intentionally to try and find weirder stuff. I think there's a lot of value in that. Because if I hadn't done that, I mean, you get crap occasionally, but if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have found stuff like the original PS1 Armored Core games, which are some of my favorite games ever, or stuff like that. Because, you know, sadly, there's this mindset nowadays. I don't mean to go off on a tangent, but just quickly, it's a shame that I think a lot of people write off older stuff and older games. People don't seem to appreciate them. They're like, the graphics aren't advanced enough. It's like, yeah, but you know, there's still other merit. Like I replayed the original Silent Hill this year. One of the best games I've ever played. It's so good, and it partly works because it's on that older hardware. Like that had its advantages, but now people are just like, I see so many people going, "Oh, I'll just play the remake when it comes out." And I'm like, "No, I mean, I'm not saying the remake could be good, but you're missing so much." I've seen people write off even the Fear and Hunger games, be like, "Oh, they're 2D. I'm not going to play that." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you? You're missing so much." I mean, it goes back to the yellow paint thing you were bringing up. Some people do just want kind of like the same homogenized like experience over and over. It's why I mean,
100%.
Sadly, I see a lot of these new game remakes, which can be good. I'm not saying they can't be good before people leave comments, but I'm just saying they do have more in common with each other than what they're based on. That's something worth noting. But anyway,
definitely.
Enough about that.
Look, honestly, what you can do is you can be a real contrarian by just going back 20 years and then just playing the top games that were out at the time. They're all bangers. Well, there's always like random sports games and whatever. But if you just go through and just play anything that's not like a sports game, they're all like real bangers, you know. And it's like, that's awesome. And you're a contrarian by doing that.
All right. We've been talking for a good while. I think we can wrap this up. Once again, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. I really appreciate it, and it's been a blast. And thank you also for putting up with my unhinged ramblings.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was good.
Anything you want to plug before you go? Where can people find you? Stuff you want to promote? Anything like that?
Yes, look up MYTHONICS on YouTube and go and watch all of my videos. Depending on when this comes out, I should have a new video coming out about Ocarina of Time ROM hacks, but I've got heaps of Fear and Hunger videos too. So make sure you go check it out.
Yeah, this will probably come out a little bit after. I'm kind of slow on the editing right now, but I'll try and get out in a somewhat timely manner. And yeah, everyone, please, if you're watching my channel and you aren't subscribed to MYTHONICS, I don't know what you're smoking, but please go do so. Highly recommend. This man makes great content, and if you're a lorehead like me, must-watch channel. Anyway, thank you again. Yeah, see you guys next time.
Bye.